welcome to Randumb Snax. This is episode 2. You got DJ Vince and Anthony here. We got 2 more people because I feel like we're going to be switching out a lot of guests.
2 more random snacks.
Yeah, 2 more random snacks. Snack eaters, I guess.
I was going to say,
Is it because
if
you don't
just
want to
called
call
them
them
a
a snack?
snack, yeah, I was going to say thank you.
Pause.
They got a big ass screen.
So you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Ricky, a Mexican snack. Mexican snack. Aiden, also Mexican snack.
I want to
Just
call
a
you the
younger.
jalapeno.
We got our churros here. So today for episode 2, I wanted to do Marvel versus DC. The reason I wanted to do this because DJ is so anti-DC that I wanted to put him in a corner to
Wait a
where
sec.
We're
I wanted to put him in a corner to where this is how it's going to work. We're going to do Marvel versus DC. The goods, the bads. Why do you like Marvel? Why do you like DC? DJ, outside of the animated series or movies, he doesn't really like the movies at all. That live action movies. We did get him to like the Batman, which was a win. But he has to tell us what his favorite DC movie and why. And then we're going to do that for the Marvel side too, your favorite Marvel. Characters, all that. So let's get into it.
Absolutely right.
I want to start with you, DJ.
Everything that you said was absolutely right. I do not appreciate being gaslighted right now. Not okay. No.
DJ, what is your favorite DC movie?
Whatever. I don't even. Wait. Okay. So what are we talking about here? I know we just did the intro. I was barely listening because I was so fuming here in my
Your
corner.
DC is lost.
Yeah, it's not okay.
You can go animated series. Or
Yeah,
animated movies.
okay, because DC, the movies, they're all bad. Like, even though Batman is the best one that they've come out with, like, recently.
The one with the Twilight guy?
The one with the Twilight guy.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up again.
I just had to make sure that we knew which the Batman we're talking about.
Yeah, because there's like 5 different of that. Yep. I mean, of course, the Christian Bale ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones were good, too. Like, I really like the Joker one. I really like the Bane one. I know a lot of people didn't. Whatever. But, like, DC they just so bad. Like, why do they even have a Suicide Squad movie just to reboot it to another The Suicide Squad movie? It's stupid. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Ricky got something to say?
I think it's funny because they make fun of the original Suicide Squad movie.
Right?
In the C? Is it a sequel?
It's supposed to be
Kind of?
a
Soft sequel?
Yeah, soft.
They
Sequel
acknowledge the first
reboot?
one.
Yeah.
They
It's a
acknowledge
soft
the first
reboot.
happening in the first
Yeah, so it's a soft reboot, but that's why
It's
we
like
were
they
able-
barely acknowledge that, yeah, it actually happened, but this one happened first, kind of, somehow, in a different alternate dimension, where a universe that doesn't make sense in a parallel time warp. Like, if you had jumped through all these hoops, who the hell cares?
Hey, they throw the weasel in it. That's all that matters.
Oh my
I
God.
hated the weasel. Everybody loved it and thought that was the best part of the movie. I was like, that was the most
No,
Best part, man. Him licking the
Best
window.
part
Best part.
about the Suicide Squad was the first movie, El Diablo. That was the best part when he actually comes into his actual form.
They didn't do him well because they didn't give him. So we have this conversation about that movie all the time because there was no character development.
There
But
was no character. I was just
Yeah.
happy that he was in.
Zero.
well, that's how
Yeah.
people feel about
You can have a cool design, sure, fine, whatever, but if it doesn't
Which
thematically work in the
I give
story...
props to the animator that did the fire.
Yeah, yeah. Shoot. That guy worked so hard.
My
That's what the
my
budget
side of
was.
it is
Easy
my
award.
side of it is on this. It's just that he was it was teased throughout the entire movie about exactly what he can do.
Yeah.
He had no character development. I'll give you that. He didn't have a lot of preparation to really explain what he exactly does. He just says, he's doing this Bruce Banner type of shit. Like, you don't want to see me angry type of bullshit. It's fine. But I'm just happy to the fact that they actually introduced him and made him canon at some particular point.
Yeah.
Because he has to be my favorite DC character. One of my favorite DC
Yeah, but
characters.
it's gotta piss you off that they just use him so poorly.
They did use him poorly. They did use him poorly. But to his respect, though, I mean, just him as a character
Yeah.
and what his potential is, I hope he comes back.
But that's also when they started bringing in the Mexican characters too, right?
Mhm.
So it was a good representation.
Okay, if you're talking representation, then sure, fine, whatever. cool. Like, I'm glad they have black people. I'm glad they have Mexicans, Asians, all that in there. Don't get me wrong. I don't really want to downplay it, but that's not what I'm talking about.
And even then, if we're comparing it to Marvel, Marvel just did their whole second phase of representation.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They still got them beat.
And they're,
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't gonna get into. I don't want to get into their new characters and all this crap because I think they casted some horrible people. But I'll
Like
talk about that later. Bad Bunny.
Oh, no,
Bad Bunny.
Wait,
Who the fuck is Bad Bunny?
Okay,
so
he's a you didn't know.
wrestler, dude.
Oh, no, bro.
So what they're doing is okay. So you know how Sony has their Spider-Man universe, right?
Sure.
So now they're doing spin-offs and everything. They did Morbius. They did Venom, and now they're doing
El Muerte?
Yeah.
Or no, El Muerto.
Yeah.
El
So
Muerto.
it's there. He's a
I don't even know who
Spider-Man.
that is.
So he's a Mexican luchador
He's
wrestler with power.
Yeah, he's Marvel's version of Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Almost
And then
just
he
like
would always fight.
You should
So
have
he's
said
in the
that.
Spider-Man universe, but they're going to introduce him without any like if you
Yeah.
don't know anything about him,
They're
then
just gonna
See,
drop him in.
okay, and that's
Yeah.
dumb because these are if you're gonna do these side characters that not a lot of people know of, especially if we're talking like representation, these are the ones they need the origin stories for. Why do we have
Exactly.
4 different origin stories for Spider-Man,
Batman.
Superman? Like, well, you don't need that. Everybody knows who these characters are.
Yeah.
You need, if you need to do the new characters, you can tie them in with the old ones, but that's the ones you need the origin stories for. I haven't seen Moon Knight yet, and I know nothing about Moon Knight.
I know about it. I know about it.
But yeah, I feel
like
like
it?
I actually kind of like the last episode.
I didn't watch last episode.
The mind fuck on the last episode was actually kind of caught my eye. First episode, I was like, it's a show. I'll watch it.
It's a show.
I'll allow it.
So I haven't seen anything, but I'm glad that at least they're doing the origin story for it, even though I hear they're tweaking it and they're changing
They're
it.
definitely doing
But
it.
this makes more sense to do it that way. Why would you start Moon Knight off as like, oh yeah, he's a hero, and
Here
let's
he is.
throw him in?
Oh, he has
yeah.
personalities. That's it.
Save
for
the
you now.
world today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, hold
Okay.
on. We're getting off topic. Your favorite DC movie?
I don't want to. This is why we're getting off topic.
Oh, I didn't tell him the rules. So, going back to episode 1, Randumb Snax, we all have ADHD.
Oh, cool. Perfect. Then
So
I'll
as long as we kind of come back to the middle, that's why like it's Randumb Snax because we're grabbing from different areas.
Gotcha.
We kind of get back to the middle, but
Like, I don't
Fuck the
know.
middle.
What's
Yeah,
my
that
favorite?
That being said, DJ's favorite DC movie is.
I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, you can choose an animated movie.
So, okay.
Because you said you hated the Suicide Squad
Yeah.
and live action.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you like
so
the Suicide Squad the
I
animated.
do, but like it's hard to say what my favorite DC animated movie is. I was actually we were just talking about it a little bit earlier. I want to say it's probably the Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, only the uncut version because the cut version is I didn't even understand what was
I
happening.
didn't even
Don't
know the
edit
uncut
it.
version.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Don't watch it. It ruins it. But they have so many like memorable lines in that movie. They have so many memorable scenes in that movie, and like it actually like plays off of like the characters and how they were like developed. And even if you don't know the Bruce Wayne that happened in Batman Beyond, if you know who Bruce Wayne is, then you're gonna like this movie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh man, this is that billionaire that dresses like a bat and he does all this stuff, but he's too old now and he has this protege. Like it all makes sense in the context of the character Batman.
Yeah.
If you watch the Suicide Squad, and let's say you know nothing of the Joker, and you watch the first Suicide Squad movie, what would you think of the Joker?
Yeah.
Like-
that is a horrible joke.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Joker.
and like
Yeah.
that's I don't understand. They do that with a lot of characters. They do that with Harley Quinn. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
like I don't like this Harley Quinn that they have. Even the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn and all that. Like this, it's not interesting. The chaotic girl who can just kind of have plot armor through her movies and stuff. Like
It's
no,
not good.
it's not. But Harley Quinn is a fascinating character.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, the fact that she's like oh my gosh, I was going to say psychic, not psychic.
Psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist. There it is. The fact that she's a psychiatrist who was turned to the life of evil is way more interesting. In the Suicide Squad movie, the best scene in that movie is something that I don't think they intentionally meant to do, and I don't know if they actually did it in the real movie or if it was a trailer. But there's a scene where they're at the bar, right, and they're all doing their whole like, you know, here are your drinks and you know whatever. She starts like breaking down the people who are sitting at the bar. That's interesting. She's actually breaking down their character of like why, you know, I wish she would have gone through everybody and like, oh,
But
you're a sociopath who needs
But don't
attention.
they do
That's why
that
you
in
do this.
the cartoon though?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
She does all this stuff, and
Then you forget that she's smart.
yeah, like it makes sense to it.
It makes
In
you
the
wonder, like,
movies, do they even touch on that?
They bring it
They-
up like
Flashes of
twice.
flashbacks,
they
right?
definitely, yeah,
They flash
Bring it
back
up
for
real
like
quick.
15 seconds, and it's like, okay,
that's it.
And like in Birds
You
of
don't
Prey,
even know
she'll
about that.
mention it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
but
I think
it just leaves
No,
you
she's
wondering,
hot.
like, how exactly was she? I mean, I'm probably sure it wasn't easy, but how she was able to turn so quickly, being a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
you know, that's
exactly.
interesting. 'cause it's
That
like,
would be a
because
fun story to
what
watch.
exactly-
yeah,
Wish
because
they would have did
she
that.
was deep diving into the Joker's mindset. So it's like
she
again,
made
you're
sense of it.
trying to understand it, and he's talking to her like walking her through what he's thinking, and it's like every time he says something, she's like, "Ooh, you're kind of right. Ooh, you're kind of right," and it's
Yeah.
like doing that week after week every time he gets arrested because Batman doesn't kill anybody supposedly.
Which Batman? Which Batman?
I gotta put a big ass asterisk on there.
Yeah, which Batman?
Apparently, shoots people with machine guns
That
and runs
is-
them off the road.
I mean,
In this
Superman.
DC
Remember
universe.
Superman? He
Exactly.
threw a box into someone's face.
I mean,
Yeah, and there's blood on the wall.
Okay, but even if you go back to '89 Batman, he blew up a building with goons in it.
Yeah, so here's the
He
thing.
did. Yes, he did.
There's an awful lot of Batman. He actually killed people in every iteration, even the animated series, even the comic books, all that stuff. But either number one, it's either not intentional, like the times where he like doesn't do it or whatever. But two, he always is like gripped by the decision to do something like that. So you can tell he's like, okay, I'm not trying to kill this person. That's why he does the batarangs. That's why he does the grappling hooks. He's not trying to kill him. Yeah, it happens every once in a while. I think what was it the one with the Riddler and Two-Face? I can't think of the name of it, but like, doesn't he drop Two-Face like down a building shaft or something?
Oh,
In
you're
the-
talking
in
about
the Tim
Batman.
Burton ones or
Yeah,
whatever?
Batman Forever.
Yeah, I was like, so he
With
killed
Michael Keaton, not Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
Val
Val
Kilmer.
Kilmer.
Yeah. I was like, he throws the dude down. He's dead. Like, he's not coming back from that,
He's
right?
just sleeping.
Right.
Okay.
Just like-
So
So,
coming
yeah.
back, if you have to say, you said Return of the
I would say Return of the Joker is probably one of my favorite DC movies.
So-
Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
Mhm.
Okay, so Marvel. What would you say your favorite Marvel?
So again, if we're talking like the actual like movies,
Yes.
it would definitely be the Endgame saga because like I
Like
know
both
it's-
movies or just
the Infinity War Endgame, like I really like those. Not only do I like the fact that Thanos wins in the first movie, that's absolutely perfect.
The
Like,
best thing ever.
Yeah, I remember walking out of the movie theater. First off, people were crying, so that's a thing. Second, everybody was just like, what do we do now? And that's exactly what the characters were going through. Like, what happens next? Like, do we just die? Like,
Yeah.
he won. Like,
And
do
they're
we
like,
track him down?
you get to sit on it for a year.
Yeah, there's nothing
Yeah.
you can do about it.
The last line in that Infinity War was Captain going, "What? You went, oh shit, or, oh."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was there, and it went
Yeah.
black screen that Thanos is walking in his house.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Yeah.
He goes on his right. He does exactly what he says he's going to do. I love it. I love
Or he went,
everything
oh my
about
god,
it.
right? He's like, oh my god.
And
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 then went black.
dandelions.
To watch the sun
That's
rise on a
cool
grateful
dude.
universe.
Even during the movie, and I mean, I'll give Disney the credit because I also remember they did a glorious fake out because before this movie started, I remember telling all my friends, I was like, oh, this movie, he's not going to collect all the stones. He's going to get like 3 of them. The Avengers are going to try to stop him. He's not going to be able to. Then the second movie, I was like, oh, he's going to get all the stones and they're going to stop him and then everybody's going to live happily ever after. So, like, we talked about it for, like, weeks beforehand, and it was like, oh, I wonder which stones he's gonna get, and da-da-da. And this movie just got me, because, like, I couldn't call anything to happen. If I had known he was gonna beat the Hulk in that first scene.
Oh my
Phased
god.
him out.
I
I was
loved
like,
it. 'Cause
what?
I was telling
But
everybody
I-
too.
I
I
just
think
don't
the
like
Hulk is
how
probably
they-
the only one that can go toe to toe
Exactly.
with them.
Yeah.
So
I
they
don't
shut
like
that
how
shit down in the
they
first 10 minutes.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all because in the Hulk that we get afterwards is a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Okay, when you
That causes
so
it.
Here's the thing.
It
I
does,
know
yeah.
now you don't like it, but when you saw it in the movie theater, what'd you think of it?
Which part?
Like,
The very beginning.
before you knew that.
Yeah, but I mean, knowing
Oh,
what
man,
happens.
I thought it
now-
was great, but
Yeah.
I would have think that Hulk being the Hulk.
I want payback.
Yeah,
he
you
wanted
want
to
to
payback.
you want to
Get
get
his piece of
angry.
meat.
Yeah,
he'll
get angry,
lose
go
it.
back.
But
Yeah.
no,
So I
You get
love.
scared.
Yeah.
get scared.
So I love the fact that they subverted the expectation in a good way. Do I like the way that knowing everything that I know now, do I like the way they treated the Hulk in this one?
They
Not
completely
really.
downplayed his actual credit,
Yeah,
his
his
actual
story.
part in the Infinity War saga. If we're going back to comic books, because Hulk had a big part.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they completely downplayed it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the Hulk to bust out of the Hulk Buster
yeah.
armor.
Yeah.
Like
Apparently,
I thought there was
that
a,
was
He
a
comes out and
it-
says no.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's apparently
right?
a cut scene where the Hulk, like something with Bruce Banner and the Hulk. There's a whole like 5-10 minutes of something with them
yeah,
in that they just cut.
yep.
Oh, yeah.
But I like it. I liked, especially like watching the movie. I think they did a really good job.
Mhm.
If of course headcanon is like, oh, I wish they would have did this. I wish they would have did that. Whatever. It's fine to have your opinion on how the story could have went.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job with it. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely hands down my favorite Marvel movie. It may be cheating because it's 2 movies, but I
I mean,
can't.
so-
Two halves of
Part
them.
one, part two.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
So,
right.
and I respect that. I do respect that because again, now since they brought in this whole thing with the multiverse, that's just this form of the story.
Yeah.
Because there could be another version to where Hulk completely obliterates Thanos.
Oh, yeah.
after that shit. Or
But-
even that they didn't even meet until like the
The
climactic
final
event.
battle or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because, and I know we talk about this a lot, this multiverse of madness has so much potential, it's kind of insane.
It has
Like-
so much
like-
on the line
So
right now.
nervous.
Even that, like,
I feel like this is their deciding moment of where they're gonna go with the next phase because they're opening up literally everything. So it's like,
Yeah.
so now you got to choose which direction you're going.
Like,
with.
what's the story going to be now?
Yeah.
Because they have it out
Everybody's-
yonder.
And-
talking
And now they
about-
also this is the first time they have more properties than they've ever had
Mhm.
at one point.
You know, they
Right,
have
one time.
Fox.
Well,
So
because
they have all
just
of Fantastic Four, all of
yeah, so it's like
X-Men.
it's gonna be a big deal because like that's why we were able to see Charlie Cox in Spider-Man, which was like even for that 5 minutes, that was just a big deal just to see that.
yeah.
So, me personally, it kind of makes me mad. I get that business is business, but like just think of what Civil War could have been if it had those characters.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
that could have been a big deal.
It'd have been great.
And just real quick, talking about Avengers and Infinity War and everything, I really liked the first part, how we were talking about it. I didn't like the second one as much, except for the third act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just really slow.
Yeah, time. Me and DJ constantly talk about time
Yeah.
travel,
I hate
I
and
don't
it's
like
like,
time
don't
travel.
do time travel because you're gonna ruin your movie with it.
Yeah.
I've only seen it done well like once, maybe
Science
twice.
Best thing, if you've never seen it, look it up, watch it.
It says anime, right?
Yeah, it's an anime.
Science
It's
Bee.
not an action anime though,
Mhm.
so it'll be hard to hold
It's
your
all
attention.
suspense. Or suspense.
But it's
So
it's like perfect time travel.
Yeah.
favorite DC movie, Batman or Batman Beyond,
Return of the
Return of the
Joker.
Joker.
And then you go back to the 90s for it. But
We'll do Avengers last 2 movies, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving down the line, Ricky,
next,
favorite DC movie.
It has to be Batman and the Masked Phantom.
Masked Phantasm?
Masked
Yeah.
Phantasm.
That's actually a really good one.
That is a very good one. And the only reason why I like it, and I didn't know it at the time when I had my own movie, but Mark Hamill's Joker is fantastic.
Yeah.
I know I said this before. Anything Mark Hamill, absolutely 100%. I'm all in.
But that was my first taste of it. And I mean, every other Joker that came after that was just like,
Yeah,
With
sound
the-
alike.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson sold it, but it's still Mark Hamill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill's my
And
Joker.
what's great about it is that like that's just his voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
And
my
like he's
God.
never played him like in live action or anything.
Yeah.
Just didn't, you think Mark Hamill, you think Joker. You know what I mean? So it's like
No, when you
That-
think Mark
Yeah.
Hamill, you think Luke
Luke
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
But when you think Mark
Bro.
Hamill's voice, you think
Right, yeah, I gotta say, if
Joker.
you
Which
think
is so
Joker, you think
weird.
Mark Hamill.
tomato, tomato.
Luke Skywalker sounds nothing
Yeah,
like
no,
the
it's
Joker.
nothing.
Like, it's so weird to think
But
about
at the
that.
same time, he does.
He kind of has to, right?
But then I also look back at like earlier movies of the Flash, like when they first did a real life makeup of the movie with what's his name, Because they actually
You're-
go through like
you're-
the character
Are
development.
you talking about the show, the TV series, The Flash? Are you
There was
talking
a
about the
movie.
old movies?
There was a movie.
I hated The Flash.
Well, I thought it was a movie first, and then that same guy came back and played in the series.
I think he did. I think
It
that's how it
was
went.
like a
He's the
CBS
wizard.
movie first.
Yeah, but the movie.
John Wesley Shipp.
Yeah, because I saw it like when I was like 9 or 10 years old, like 2000, 2001. But it was still like a good, like it was a character that I've never seen on a real screen before, besides the animated series, you know. And I thought that was a cool representation of it. Just the way that he was able to control his speed, because he couldn't control it at first.
Yep, I don't like the Flash because every time I've seen him in like movies and comic books and TV shows, he always has like the dumbest weaknesses and the dumbest
Banana peel.
Take him out of the fight. Yeah, the banana peel. That somebody tricked him. Something.
The ground's too slippery.
And then that being
Ends up running
said,
in place.
I really love the Flash. Have you guys seen Justice League Unlimited or Justice League?
Yeah.
Where he faces off against Brainiac. Has anybody seen that?
Is that
scene?
the one when he like
He runs.
phases like himself out of existence?
Yes, I was so.
He ran so fast and he couldn't stop.
I was
shaking or
literally-
whatever,
I
and
was
going
just-
in and out of the in and out of the realm. or
No,
whatever.
in and out of existence.
Yeah, so
he was
like-
almost like
Like,
erased.
just really?
Yeah.
That's how fast he
So
was.
it was great because I was in the same shock that freaking Brainiac was in because he's like, oh, he literally just defeated everybody. He defeated Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, like all of them. And then Flash is like sitting there and he turns and Flash is looking at him with like the puppy dog eyes, like, truce? And he's like, what are you gonna do? And then the Flash runs off. And he's like, that's what I thought. And then he turns around to see Flash's fist run into him. And he's like, what the hell? And he takes off again. He's like, wait, what happened? And then Flash comes from behind him and then knocks him over.
Hit and
And
run
then
tactic.
He was running around the world that fast and then building up all that kinetic energy and just hitting him like every single time. He did it like 20 or so thousand times, something like
Yeah,
that.
because Justice League, well, that was unlimited, right?
Yeah, I want to say it was unlimited.
Because it was
yeah.
like they had some of the best stories, like the Goosebump moments. Like that was one.
That was so.
the
that
one
was
when
perfect.
Superman blew up Darkseid's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
that was.
And then when Superman also fought Darkseid, when he was like, "This is the rare time I'm able to just cut loose."
I still go back and
Yeah.
watch that scene. Like every 2 months or so, I'll just go back and rewatch it.
that
It's
was
so
a
good.
one.
Um,
He beat the shit out of him.
yeah. DC has the better characters. They have the better
It's a
characters, the better storylines.
Well, here's the argument that we keep on coming across between DC and Marvel when it comes to character development. DC projects like these characters that are just not flawed, and there may be flaws. You may have your objections about that, but in a general sense, all these characters that they are, the heroes, they're not flawed. Where you go to Marvel characters, all of them have issues, man. Bruce Banner, he's got anger issues. You go to Iron Man, he's a freaking, playboy. He's obsessed with his money. He's obsessed with his creations, his possessions.
He was a narcissist at first, too.
Exactly.
He's an alcoholic.
Alcoholic, yeah.
Captain America, you want him to be perfect. You don't want anything wrong with him, but that's also his downside too, because he's not. He's rational to an extent, and then once he becomes in his extreme, like he has a tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I read about that recently. I think it was a couple days ago too. It was like where if you really pay attention to Captain America and like Steve Rogers, you can kind of see that he's actually really selfish.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
because like he puts himself and obviously Bucky above no matter what anything.
Yeah,
Like you see at Civil War, that's literally what it boiled down to mainly. It was
Yeah.
between him and Iron Man at least. That he kept that away from him, knowing that all those years just to drop. He's
Because
like,
he
I want
knew
to protect
Iron Man
my
was
friend.
gonna freak out,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I'm just not gonna tell him. It'll be fine. It'll
and
be
then it
fine."
happens, and
Yeah,
and that's
then
where
he had to
everything
do it.
happened.
Yeah, Captain America has the downside, his perfectness, whatever.
Exactly.
He's always right.
Exactly.
He was actually turns out he was right to keep it from Tony Stark
Yeah.
because apparently he was gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
He was right to jump over the grenade to save. What was it? The very
platoon.
the platoon, but it didn't go off. So I was like, oh, that was lucky.
So is
because
that plot armor then, or
it's
is
definitely
it
plot armor. That's what Captain America is. That shield actually has plot armor written on the inside. It's not vibranium. It's the most powerful thing there is. But I will disagree with you because DC has the one perfect character, which is Superman.
Unfortunately,
Superman is plot armor personified. He can't do anything.
he's made
wrong.
to be perfect. So
Yeah, that's his whole.
He's not
point.
interesting at all to me.
he wasn't interesting.
Still isn't.
I think whatever, man.
Still don't.
Again, I think the animated series does him way better.
Yes,
Because
but I
he's.
was talking to movies.
Oh yeah, well of course.
Because
Again, the DC
again,
movies,
there are the ones where it's like, oh, he can be affected by magic. Some of them he's only affected by kryptonite.
Yeah.
Some of them he gets boxed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, some of them he actually faces off against people who are just like him.
Mhm.
He's not the only one, and not like the all powerful one. Because every time they have him facing off against Zod, it's like this is a good match. I love this. But yeah, like again, DC has the better animated everything. Like they,
Yeah,
so
but
it's
I want to see.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
and
And that's the thing too. We're gonna finally get to see some of these other characters because they're branching out, like with Black Adam. Because we're gonna get to see other characters instead of their basic three: Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. That's all.
I finally saw the clip with Hawkman in it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're
I
like,
haven't seen it.
man.
No?
No?
Seen it.
No.
Oh.
We'll be on YouTube right after this.
Yeah.
yeah, because it looks good. It's just they're finally branching out, and I feel like when we go back to the movies, that's another reason why Marvel has DC, because their plot points and their movies are basically, like I said, their big three all the time. It's always comes back to their big 3
Mhm.
Always come back to their big three. Marvel's took a chance. Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody
Yeah.
thought that would work.
Yeah.
And they were like, who the fuck
Hell,
is this?
nobody
Like,
I
thought
didn't
Iron
even
Man was
want
gonna
to watch
work.
it, real.
I think Iron Man, yeah, and because that was when Robert Downing was coming out of like the rehab and all that,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Why is Marvel taking a chance on him?"
Mhm.
Turned out to be one of the best
Mhm.
taking chances.
I mean,
Yeah.
even Iron Man.
Is it
Iron
real
Man
life
was
plot
probably Marvel's most popular character, and he wasn't that popular.
Yeah, he was.
Like
Yeah.
nobody really liked the Marvel Iron Man. I mean, arguably, well,
Yeah, because
Everybody
Yeah.
before
loves
they-
I was going to say Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
yeah, because I remember like
Yeah.
when it first came out, they were like, "Why are they choosing Iron Man?" Like you had Spider-Man that came out and all that, and they were like, "Why Iron Man?"
Yeah,
And it just worked.
yeah, exactly. They didn't try to do like the message with them where it's like, oh yeah, Tony Stark, he's a perfect person, and he's got to do this and that. It's like no,
It's the
they
exact
kept
opposite,
him-
huh?
yeah, and that
Yeah.
made it super relatable. Everybody was like, yeah, I can definitely see why you would want to drink after that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see why you want to make $1 million selling that. Like, it made so much more sense, and I can definitely see why after being held hostage by your weapons, you don't really want to make more weapons.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect sense.
Yeah. I was talking about Iron Man, favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, coming back to it.
Man,
I can
got
edit-
quiet
I was gonna say, I
real
can-
quick.
I can
Are you more
edit
of
up
a
the
DC
silence.
fan?
Are you getting more of DC?
No. If it comes to comics, I'm pretty neutral, but when it comes to movies, I like all of them.
Mhm.
I mean, they all have their perks, they all have their cons.
But if we were to say, "Hey, let's watch this Marvel movie right now," what would just pop in your head first?
It's not canon.
Mm-hmm.
Blade.
Counts. I
Oh
know.
yeah.
That was interesting.
It's funny because I started watching all three of them again. I'm on the third one right now.
Yeah.
'Cause I-
The graphics are terrible, but they are good movies.
Dude, this is this so.
they're dated.
Blade was one of those movies that I could watch like every week.
I love the second one. Like
Mm-hmm.
the third one, I'm watching. Like I stopped at middle.
Trinity.
Because I was like, I don't.
I like
remember-
Trinity.
I never saw it. I realized it when I started watching it. I've never seen it before. I was like, I don't remember
Oh.
any of this.
I've never
Really?
seen Blade.
It's on,
You've never
not
seen
Hulu,
it?
but it's on
Oh.
Netflix. All
I see
three
it,
of them.
but I've never
Hey,
seen it.
before you
The
watch any
children.
other Marvel movie,
Yeah, watch Blade.
watch Blade. If you watch, oh my god, you need to watch Blade.
Blade,
The way that
new one,
Wesley
right?
Snipes,
Yes, but it's not going to be like
Blade.
Blade. The one that Disney Plus is doing is not going to be on par with that one because it was rated R.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I know that. I
Yeah,
know it was Blade. That's why I didn't think it was a Marvel movie until
That's why I thought it was
When you
funny.
say you
I
can make
was-
Blade soft.
older.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
It's a
Disney
Blade.
Yeah.
Unless they
I
do
get
go
it.
the route because they do have the shows from Netflix on it now, they could possibly.
That's true.
And then they said Deadpool 3 is still going to be rated R, so they could curve and go like mature rated, which would be amazing. 'Cause-
They're having a new director for Deadpool 3 as
yeah,
well.
but they can't. Don't dumb down. That's just one.
It's
thing.
a it's
Exactly.
a movie about vampires.
Yeah.
What do vampires do? If
But
you're
they
not
already
talking
messed it
about
up.
Twilight.
But they already messed it up with Morbius.
You saw that big ass smile.
Morbius is garbage.
I like Marvel.
I didn't watch that. I heard so many bad things. I was like, I'm not
It
gonna
is
get
such
it.
a garbage movie.
Which
But
one?
he is
Morbius.
Morbius. But
Oh my
also
God.
Morbius being a vampire, being part of Marvel, like that wasn't portrayed when Blade was part of, or Blade being part of Marvel.
Yeah, because this was before they even Well, did it say in association with Marvel in the beginning?
They like to think they are. I'm pretty sure they're not.
Yeah, because like
So-
They wanted to.
yeah, they wanted to do it so hard. They did everything but put it in the credits. And the guy standing out in the movie theater like, hey, you know we're part of Marvel now?
what's a Marvel?
Yup! Walk off.
Miss Marvel?
No, not that one.
No.
Okay, so going down the line more, coming back to the middle, Aiden. He's the youngest one of the group. Let's see where his mind is. Favorite DC movie?
Okay, so
I'm gonna hard.
I'm more of a fan of DC's shows than their movies. Like I watch their movies more.
Who doesn't?
I watched some of their movies, but I wasn't like really like, I'm DC. I'm in love with this. I'm into this. But because I started to fade away, like I watched Batman, Dark Knight. Those never watched Wonder Woman, which I heard was good. Second one I heard was that.
Yeah, the first one's okay.
Mm-hmm.
The second one's horrible.
Like a favorite. Honestly, I don't even know. It had to be one of the recent ones because the ones that I actually like paid attention to and remembered.
Okay,
Ew.
that works.
We'll come back to you.
I'd have to say the first Dark Knight.
So
The first one.
Batman
Okay.
Begins.
I
No,
respect that.
Second one then. Second one. Yeah,
Joker.
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 Yeah, I forgot Batman Begins
Yeah.
was the first of that trilogy.
Everybody forgets that
Wait,
Batman
I
Begins
forgot.
was the first one.
I like
I remember.
Batman
I
Begins.
liked Batman. I didn't like Batman Begins. I didn't like
Wait.
Batman
Rob's
Begins.
all cool? Come
But that's
on.
the thing, because when you mention those movies, they say
Listen.
Dark Knight Rises.
I was
and
going
they
to
did
say
like
any
Bane.
movie with
They'll say Dark Knight Rises, they didn't like Bane, or The Dark Knight.
Which I never understood. Bane was such a great character.
I love that. So I'd say
But the one with the
You
Joker.
know why
the
they
Joker. I
like
say the
Bane?
Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, and
The
then
voice?
Batman Begins probably right into that. Just because
Okay.
Well, because Bane is a luchador.
That too.
He's not a luchador in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, yeah.
He's I don't even know
I mean,
what.
no,
Yeah, well, because if you think about it, like if you look at the animated series that they've introduced Bane, and you looked at like comic books, like it's well known he's a luchador.
Yeah, that's why he wears the mask. It wasn't whatever the apparatus was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Yeah.
sounds like Darth Vader coming up in the
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And that was after they fixed the voice.
Yeah.
They just
Oh,
needed a
bro.
terrorist, and they were like, Bane is terrifying.
Have you seen the Young Justice? The Bane and Young Justice?
I haven't seen the Bane in Young Justice.
Oh, he's really good in that one.
Really?
If you get a chance to watch it, he's probably my favorite iteration of Bane. That outside of the movies or whatever.
Mhm.
He's probably my favorite animated Bane.
What episode?
I couldn't tell you which episode specifically. It's been a while since I've watched all of the Young Justices. But number one, I feel like he has honor in those ones, even though of course he's a bad guy, so he does the bad guy things.
But
and tendencies.
Bane actually does have all
But
that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like he does a really good job of flirting the line between I hate this guy, but man, I would follow him and do everything he said. You know what I mean? Like they do a real good job with him.
Sense
so.
of morality.
Yeah,
I know there's
yeah.
certain times when he could have beaten him when he was down. He's all that to be honorable.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he does it with friends and foes alike, and I like everything about Bane and in the Young Justice ones.
So just
Yeah,
saying, he said it was the one with the Joker, and we started talking about Bane.
Yeah, that's a Joker.
Sorry, but
Rises. Yeah, I'm like,
you
That
know
was
what?
kinda
You're
funny.
right. That's all I have to say. I feel like I have to defend Bane. There's Joker was good in that movie.
Yeah.
He was so perfect.
He did amazing.
What was your favorite Marvel movie?
Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Man, you see how fast
That's
he
my-
did
yeah,
with Marvel,
that's
but
my favorite movie.
it took him 20 minutes
So
to even
for
think
DC,
about
I
the
like the
DC
shows.
one.
The main thing I watched for DC was
My favorite DC.
the animated Batman show from the early
Spider-Man?
2000s.
Okay.
I watched that constantly. Was it Cartoon Network or something?
Which one? Sorry.
The animated Batman show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We
Batman,
Wait,
the
okay.
animated series.
Oh,
We
yeah, I was
watched
gonna say
it.
which
Yeah,
one.
there you go.
'cause There's
I think-
the Batman, the animated series.
Like, I watched that
Batman,
You
all
can
the
tell
Batman.
the age difference too because you said on Cartoon Network or anything. I was like, you mean from kids? What was it, WB Kids?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I watched it on television. It was just on the TV. I don't remember.
No, I ended up going, yeah. it's
Saturday morning cartoons. Bro.
Oh,
You remember that?
I watched Boomerang. Does that count?
No,
Like my
no,
daughter.
now you're aging us.
But yeah, Marvel, definitely Guardians of the Galaxy 1. That's by far my favorite movie from that. Always has been since I've seen it. Nothing's ever competed with it.
So I'm curious, why?
Oh,
I'm not throwing any shade at you. I just want to know why.
What makes you like it?
I feel like because it was, I'm trying to think, it was like one of their first MCU movies where they kind of just threw like kind of like cartoony jokes, funny kind of stuff into it, right?
I see that. Okay.
So, and also that was my first time being introduced into Guardians of the Galaxy, so that kind of could play bias in it. But just like the soundtrack, the acting, I feel like they each had a solid amount of character development for it, and it was resolved
by the end.
Yeah, I didn't really see any really plot hole. I think every act, every scene that they were going to go into, every problem that they faced was handled well. Whether it was good guys won, whatever, you know. I just feel like it was handled well. The soundtrack was good, acting good. I liked all the characters, and then I just feel like that's where they first took that. I feel like they took that leap into. We can throw a lot of jokes in this. We can throw the comic aspect into it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like it. That's the one where I've consistently always gone back to always watch.
They do have some decent character development in it.
They do.
They do a really good job.
Rocket makes me cry when he talks about his whole origin story. It's like, dang. You know what? You would have to go through some shit to be a talking raccoon. You're not wrong.
There's no easy way to do that.
Yeah, nope.
His name is Rabbit.
Yeah.
Rabbit, yeah.
Rabbit the Rocket Raccoon. Got it.
Rabbit the Rocket
The
Raccoon.
second one. The second Guardians of the Galaxy did not like it.
No, that was
It wasn't.
It's got really good moments.
It was entertaining, but I just
the Mary Poppins line made me laugh way too hard. Well,
like,
harder than I
it hit
probably
me in the
should
feels
have.
at the end there,
Mhm.
and then the whole like, what the hell moment with the dad and the mom. You know, when Peter learns about that, that was like all really good. But I just feel like it was kind of it felt
Straight up
rushed,
mindfuck there. Yeah.
kinda.
I feel like that one had a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
Because the first one was like shockingly good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went into the first Guardians of the Galaxy and I was like, man, I actually don't know anything about these characters either.
Yeah.
So I was super open minded and I was like, let's just go watch a movie, and it like blew me away.
Mhm.
Exactly how you're saying.
Well,
So
really
the second one.
What really hooked me on the first one was able to hold the Power Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
Even though it was for a few seconds before like the power of friendship took over, it was like,
Yeah.
what? Nobody's been doing that.
But in the second one, I expected to have that same experience from the first one, but with different stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, let's see what they do this time. And so since I had really high expectations, I think it did, I'll say at least borderline met my expectations. But since it wasn't so far above it, then it was like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I just feel like him and the way that they handled him and his father, I feel like it was rushed at the end of it, at least. You know, like they did have a whole big CGI Pac-Man fight.
Yeah.
For like
Yeah.
5-10 minutes. I feel like you could have elaborated more on that afterwards, or even before it to like kind of lead up to, because it was just he was trying to control him, then trauma bombed him with his mom, and then that's where it just took off. Like there was there even any dialogue after that between them? Like you were my dad. I looked like I always want to know who you were. I always want to know where I came from, kind of thing. Did they ever even touch on that during the fight?
Yeah, you're right.
Because they just fought,
Yeah, they
and
just
then it ended.
Kind of went at it, huh?
Yeah.
With them, at
I
least. With
feel
them, it
like
ended.
what they wanted their whole experience to be was what the whole like Omni-Man and Invincible experience was. That's what they wanted, but they, like you said, they rushed it. And it was like,
they didn't work towards it.
the whole like, oh, let's just make another kid.
Yeah.
Who cares? And then keep going. And him get pissed.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm over here going through the catalog. I don't know.
That's
Right.
I was
Catalog
DC. I was trying to remember what
crap.
DC movies were there.
When you're talking about DC movies.
So that's kind of where I'm
Sorry,
at too. Like, I'm trying
Anthony,
to
what's
figure
your
out.
favorite DC movie?
Down the line.
I'm gonna get so much flack
Because you're old.
from you.
All right,
Let's
let's
say Justice League.
He's gonna say
No,
Justice
I'm
League.
not gonna say Justice League. I'm
Better
gonna
be
say
the
Batman
worst
vs Superman.
He's gonna be. There you
Don't-
go.
What?
Yes.
You're a liar.
No, I like Batman vs.
You're a liar and a
No.
deceiver.
Listen,
And I
if
do
I
not
have to-
appreciate.
if I have to choose-
Should I pause and let us
Well,
all?
listen. So I know I've been critical of it, of Batman vs Superman. I like a lot of aspects of it, but I'm just leading more of. I always look at what I see from the comics or whatever.
Whatever,
from
man. You're
So-
no,
no,
you
listen.
like the idea of Batman vs
No,
Superman. I like the
listen.
idea of Batman vs
No,
Superman.
listen. So taking away the title, I do like.
Sure.
I like seeing him in the Batman suit. And I like them going at it, and I like because I like the Dark Knight.
Oh, you
And
mean the 10 seconds they go at it in Batman
He
versus
says Martha. He
Superman?
says Martha.
It's in the title, and you barely see it.
if I have to, because like
I'm finished.
I'm being
Let him
unfair.
finish.
Like with
Yeah.
me, everybody picked the Dark Knight. I liked the Dark Knight. It was cool. I feel like Heath Ledger dying made the Dark Knight better than what it was.
Mhm.
It's just like when the movie Ray came out. Ray Charles dying made Ray better, made people like it better than what it really was.
It's like the whole artist with their work. Once they die, their art
Exactly.
becomes.
Okay, I disagree. 100% disagree with that. Because the Dark Knight, okay, the Ray Charles thing, sure, fine, whatever. Because I did like Ray Charles, but I wasn't in like with Ray Charles. So yeah, but coming with the Heath Ledger Joker was a really good Joker. And I'm sorry, the first opening scene with the whole bank robbery thing was so damn good. They teach that in school. They show that, and they're like, this is how you make an opening scene for any character, bad guy.
But are they teaching it because of that, or are they teaching it because of the cinematography from Christopher Nolan?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it is
But
that.
if you look at it from it being the cinematography from Christopher Nolan, you could have thrown any good actor to be the Joker in that scene.
I disagree with that because the best part of that whole sequence is the reveal of Heath Ledger's Joker. Every line that he says, which is only like 2 of them, but every line that he says in that whole opening scene was absolutely perfect for what the Joker was. The Joker, I mean, granted, the Joker has many portrayals of him, and I know we all, just talked about the whole Mark Hamill thing, but Mark Hamill's Joker was like the fun, prankster kind of Joker or whatever. But there is a version of the Joker. I think when he debuted, he was like a gangster. He was like a murderer.
Yeah.
And he's like, he didn't really tell jokes. He just wore clown makeup kind of thing.
Well, not only that, like, I get it.
And that's what.
With that scene, I like that scene. It's like with that scene, I like that scene. But like, a lot about comics or whatever. So everybody they say the reveal of Joker was surprising because of whatever. But if you know the comics and you've seen that mask that he had on, that was the original Joker mask. So everybody that's a comic. So to me, it's like everybody that's read the comics knew that was a Joker before he even pulled it off, and the music changed.
I disagree with you there too, because once you see him on the street and you see him holding the Joker mask, even if you haven't read the comics, you're like, that's the Joker. I was like, you don't see Heath Ledger's face or anything, because he has the Joker makeup on, but you just see that guy standing there with the Joker mask. It's like, oh, that guy, that one's the Joker. Then he puts it on, and then he meets up with the other people in the Joker mask. And it's like, it casts just enough doubt while watching that scene to be like, oh, maybe he's just part of the crew, and that's all it is. So I knew I remember when I first watched it, that's what my thought was. And then they kind of made me forget it because of what they did. And then the reveal was surprising. And it's like, wait, I knew that. Why was I still surprised? I shouldn't have been shocked at that at all. So, no, I disagree with you every way. Heath Ledger did a great job with the Joker, and I remember cracking up in the movie theater with the disappearing pen. I laughed way too long, way too hard.
That was Joker.
Yeah, that was
absolutely. That's the thing. So like,
ta-da, it's gone.
It's just like me. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
like the but like the Dark Knight is cool and all, but like just me personally, if I have to pick a favorite, my personal favorite, I still like. Because I even to today, if it comes on TBS or TNT, like I'll sit there and watch it. Like you've caught me, you've caught me, it being on TV, and I'll watch it. But like,
I must have blanked those memories out. None of that. I didn't even sound like it.
And it is another because you watch movies differently. Again, with your background, with the comics and everything, I can see why you would like it way more than me and DJ. Unfortunately, we have similar tastes, which is annoying.
Well, that's just like with
You mean you're welcome?
Like everybody gets mad at me when I say I feel like, and I didn't like the movie was great. I won't even say great. The movie was okay. Black Panther. It was okay.
Yeah.
Because even we've had this discussion. Black Panther was a shitty movie. Now Killmonger made Black Panther an even better movie.
Ooh, that's hard.
See, that's the thing. You're saying that, no, Black Panther was a good movie because of Killmonger. If you're saying Black Panther was bad because Black Panther was in it, or you mean the whole movie was bad?
Like the whole movie, like to me, like it was Black Panther, but it wasn't Black Panther. Because if you look at the storyline or whatever, any scene that Black Panther was actually in, or even T'Challa was in, was overshadowed by whoever else was in. So I feel like
Yeah.
as far as a Black Panther movie, it was bad.
He was kind of like a sub character in his own.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that doesn't make it bad. That doesn't make the movie itself bad because Black Panther didn't have the best lines. Black Panther, the T'Challa, I shouldn't say Black Panther. T'Challa didn't have the best lines. He didn't have the best action scenes. He didn't have the best whatever. And it was said Black Panther on it, and this was bad. It's like because then Batman versus Superman is bad for the exact same reason. Because again, Batman versus Superman doesn't happen in that movie. It happens for maybe 5 seconds and it's over. So doesn't that make that a bad movie? They didn't have the whole movie should have been them fighting the whole time, and it wasn't.
Kind of, because like
It's them thinking about not being happy with each other.
Yeah, it's like I might not like that
teaming
guy,
up
but I'm not gonna
against
talk about it.
Abomination.
yeah, because like I just feel like
And then they even make up at the end. It's Batman versus Superman, and they're friends at the end. So much so that the
Tell 'em
next
all, man.
movie
Tell 'em
that
all.
they're
Mention his mom's name, and then palms are
to
solid.
reach
That's all
around
you
this
gotta
table.
do. Just know your enemy's mother's name.
Please
Just
don't,
say
the
it.
mic is on the
Like,
table.
when you're losing.
in the podcast. Thank you very much, everybody. Going home,
but
which I'm already
like,
in.
So Batman vs Superman is your all
That's
time.
the hill you want to die on.
that's gonna be my DC movie. Yeah.
My word.
I was
Marvel-
not expecting
It's like now my Marvel movie.
Well,
He's lying.
real quick,
It's like-
Batman versus Superman did have the scene where Batman went in and took out all those thugs.
Mhm.
It made me think of the Arkham games.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
hands down my
Mhm.
favorite. That was like one of my top Batman moments.
Yeah.
Was watching him do that because one, it was just like the game, but two, it was like, dang, that was brutal. That was one of the most brutal fights that I've seen. He just jumped 20 dudes. Rest of the
Killed
movie,
all
is
of them,
like,
by the way, too. Which
He
is
put,
very
they
unbelievable.
all took naps after doing it.
Yeah, they just-
See, and you sit there and talk about, they weren't true to the canon and comics and all this stuff. And then you see Batman vs. Superman, where Batman literally goes on a killing spree.
There's
When does he go on a killing spree? When
Didn't he
he's
like toss a grenade back at two guys in a room and
Oh, yeah.
killed them?
yeah, but then he also
That's just
killed.
waiting,
It
baby.
depends on which comics.
was
There's
off-screen.
iterations in the comics where Batman has killed. I mean, like what was it? Killing Joke. Or whatever.
Yes,
yes.
the Killing Joke. He does kill
He
people.
kills
Yeah.
Joker.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he doesn't kill Joker. He kills What's the Joker?
no,
was,
Killing Joke, he does not kill
yeah,
Joker
it's
at
not
the end
Joker.
because
No,
Joker
because they do that last.
tells
yeah.
that last little joke and
And they just laugh it off.
cringy.
Because they were friends at the end.
Yeah, best friends. Yep.
Well, no, but he also
You know
killed.
what, I get you.
Batman kills somebody in what is it? Where they have two different Jokers or three different Jokers plotting against Batman, and it's an animated movie. I'm talking about the three. There was three different Jokers. I believe. One with the hat. There was.
I don't think I've
Wait,
seen this.
wait,
I
Yeah,
can
you
picture.
haven't
I can
seen
picture
it?
it.
I don't think so.
You're way back
Is it
in the
animated
hole.
movie?
It's an animated movie. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I can picture. I know exactly what you're talking about. Don't tip my tongue.
22-year-old knows what the fuck I'm talking about. What's up?
It's animated. He knows cartoons.
Relax.
I'm just kidding.
Um,
You're the young one. I have to do something.
I deal with it at work every day. Sorry.
While he's looking that up, we can go to your Marvel one.
but I'm biased on my Marvel one.
What is it? What's this one?
It would be
Don't say Captain Marvel.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no.
I would have
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
right,
alright,
in
then
the
we're
rib,
done.
and he's within
Well,
arms.
You're not even taking this.
Well,
seriously
for the first two
anymore.
Thor
If you
movies,
guys
any of
fine,
those three.
fine. If I have to pick one, it's Black Widow.
Oh,
Turn this way real quick.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, it would have to be Spider-Man.
Of course.
No Way Home?
No Way Home.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my second.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Wait, can I change my answer?
That's my second man Guardians of the Galaxy.
But that's me being biased. But if I have to choose, if it can't be Spider-Man, it would have to be Infinity War.
Wait, why wouldn't it be Spider-Man?
Just because I'm biased.
Yeah,
So I'm always
Spider-Man.
going
Yeah.
with Spider-Man.
I was gonna say we're talking about your personal opinions.
Yeah.
It's as biased as it
Yeah,
gets.
you're right.
So yeah.
I like it because I do.
So so I've had this conversation with all of you guys. Like, No Way Home hits me different because I feel like with it being a trilogy, because they always have issues with finishing a trilogy, and I feel like with this one, they finished 3 different franchises. Like they gave them full circle.
I'm still gonna get tears every time I see him
Yeah.
catch Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, and it's like,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
did
so
it.
it's like they
He
did
figured
it.
it out.
Yeah.
Redeemed,
So happy.
redeemed Andrew, redeemed Toby, and just like
I don't care what anybody says. I actually did like the Amazing Spider-Mans, both of them. I don't know why everybody gives
Because you
so
like the Jamie
much
Foxx one
hate.
too, yeah.
Yeah, they give so much hate to the Jamie Foxx one, but man, they did such a good job in that
I enjoyed
movie.
them, yeah.
I was mad when I found out that a lot of people didn't like it, and then that he wasn't going to get a third one because I was interested to see
Yeah, I
how
was
that
waiting for a
story
third
was going
one.
to wrap up. So that being said, this one, if he doesn't get his own third movie, which I mean at this
I
point
don't
he's
think
not
so
going
because
to.
I think he just said that he feels like he's
Yeah, oh yeah,
acting
he's
for now, taking a break.
yeah, he's done with it. But that being said, this was a good wrap up for it.
Yeah.
So, like I do like this one.
I think my favorite part
What are you doing over
about.
there?
Let me find it.
Yeah, but it's a comic.
I knew the comic book.
So okay, so that's what I thought because I have heard of that before.
I've seen that
because
cover.
Isn't that where he
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
So it's a picture that we've all seen.
Yeah.
It is such a good read.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But you said enemy.
I'm
I
gonna
was
pick
like,
it up.
dang,
I'm gonna
has
pick
it
it up
been?
tomorrow.
I haven't seen that.
It comes out later this year.
Oh, look, it's right.
If they can look, if they
Does
can
he know
do
the
that
future?
one live action, I'm totally down. Do a
Yeah,
whole like
inside
Jack
trading.
Nicholson and like do the 3 Joker iterations. Oh wait, Heath Ledger died. My
You
bad.
can do Mark Hamill.
I can do the other one.
Yeah,
you
I
can
forgot
do
about
Mark
that.
Hamill and
Mark Hamill can't go live. He's got to stay the voice actor for Joker.
Yeah.
So actually, that's a lot harder than
They
I
can
thought.
do if they do him. They can do it like where it's more of like
Jared
his
Leto.
Joker's kind of like a Saw kind of one, where it's like more of a behind the voice type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at you thinking outside the box. Somebody hire him.
What if they do a full CG Joker with Mark,
An animated
Mark
one in
Hamill?
the rest
I'm
of that
okay
live
with
action
that.
movie.
I would love that actually. Do a deep fake.
Yeah, I was gonna say
so
they-
deep in looking
Oh
for
man,
They
do a
deep
deep
faked,
fake Heath Ledger with
No Way
Mark
Home.
Hamill's
No Way Home.
voice.
Whoa!
I am 100% all in. I gotta send that to
wait,
whatever
what?
He said a
executive.
deep fake,
Heath Ledger.
fake Heath Ledger with Mark Hamill's voice.
Oh,
Ah.
that would be epic.
Bro,
That'd
if
be
you
nice.
get the right
And then just
animation
do
team,
just do minimal scenes where you don't have to overdo it.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of
because they never have to be in there too much.
Then avoid Jared Leto completely. Just
No, he can be in it. He'll be the
Give him
one
a
that
chance.
that
dies.
dies. Yeah, instantly.
I
Right?
get
He
it.
had 4 minutes of
Like
a chance.
what they did with
Come
the
on,
whole
man, let me try.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
When they had like a Godzilla Royale, then Godzilla 2024, whatever, or the 2004 Godzilla got killed off first because they're like that wasn't even Godzilla. Like come on, playing.
First 10
Do
minutes,
that.
Jared Leto talks like, yeah, Batman
just
kills him. He's like, I don't like you.
Done with this.
Yeah, so Batman vs Superman,
Liar.
Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Okay, so back to
Mm.
Spider-Man No Way Home. I think what I really like about that was that instead of they skipped like the whole like origin story, like whole Uncle Ben thing, but then after that movie, that is his Uncle Ben origin story. Is all 3 movies is his origin story.
All the movies were,
Because Aunt May is Uncle Ben to Toby and Andrew that happened in the first 10. Yeah, love that.
That's another reason why I'm like excited about Doctor Strange. 'Cause I want to see what else.
I'm excited, but not really. It's just
I'm
it's
nervous.
got so much. Yeah,
I'm
nervous.
it's not excitement. It's nervous.
I'm so excited to see what they're gonna do with it, but it's like if they fumble the bag, it's gonna be hard.
That's gonna be a big problem.
You know what I really hope they do, and I've actually talked about this for years. I know Vince knows maybe what I'm about to say, but I hope they release 3 or 4 different versions of the multiverse to the movie theaters. Like the first week you go out and see Multiverse of Madness, you'll be like, oh yeah, that was really good, and like, oh that's great. And then like third day in, they just switch the movie. It's gonna be the same Multiverse of Madness, but way different plot points are gonna happen and everything. And be like, did you see Multiverse? It's like, no, that didn't happen in Multiverse. It's like, yeah, it did. Yeah, and it's like, wait, and then you go back to see it, and a third version comes out, and you're like, this isn't even the same movie anymore. That's the only.
You want to sign up for that?
I know, absolutely.
You're
like, that's way too exhausting.
That would be
Absolutely.
such a problem.
That being said,
We
if
need
they could
3
pull
$1
that
billion
off
movies.
somehow, that would be the only
Called
Multiverse of
Jeff.
Madness movie that would be perfect because there's so much writing on it. Like there's so much where, like you said, they can go
There's supposed to be more
X-Men, they can go.
cameos in that than Endgame, right? Or there's supposed to be
Yeah.
more appearances in that than
Yeah.
Endgame, which
You're-
there's a lot of.
You're literally gonna have 200 characters.
Well, that's what I was telling Vince too. But like with the Spider-Man, the Sony one or the cartoon one, they said that there's going to be 240 different characters across 6 different universes.
Yeah, you
I
said
get
that.
it's going to be 2
wrap my
movies
head
or
around it.
whatever, but like
In what?
So you know how they're doing part 1 and part 2 of the Spider-Man animated movie?
The Spideyverse?
Spider-Verse.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there's
okay,
going to be 240 different characters spread across 6 different universes.
Spider 2099.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
they could do that with animated because they don't necessarily there's 200 whatever characters. They're not. It's not like they're gonna have like character development or anything. They're literally gonna be cameos.
Yeah.
So there's gonna
Well,
be
that's what
like
they're doing in this
in
one
this
too.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like again, there's so much writing on this movie that in Spider-Verse, if they forget something or if they mess up something, it's not going to be a big deal. Anything that they mess up, everybody's going to be like, oh, that's an Easter egg. It's fine, whatever, move on.
Mm-hmm.
But in Multiverse, if they mess something up, it's going to be like, well, that makes this whole thing not make sense, and why didn't they do this? And like, it's there's too much on this
So I was
one. This
talking
is going to be a hard
Vince,
movie.
I think this morning? I want to saw you, but anyways,
Yeah.
they were talking about because I watched the TV spot for it or whatever, and they actually mentioned like the Illuminati and stuff like that. So
they showed Professor X's chair.
Yeah, they showed the chair from the '90s version or whatever, like the floating chair. Well, they didn't show it, but they showed his hand on it, and anybody that's seen the old cartoons knows that that's the chair from then. So, but my thing is, like you said, it can make or break because who are they going to bring in with the Illuminati?
It's like the big plot points are the ones that are it's like it's this or this. It's going to be a good or not.
Because even when I was talking to Vince about it, it's like the first trailer that they put out, a lot of people missed the little things in it or whatever. Like when they, for example, the biggest one that when I think I pointed out to you too, Aiden, when he was in handcuffs or whatever, nobody realized that those bots were Tony Stark's bots.
Yeah, I didn't know you pointed out.
Yeah, so it was like
Ultron bots.
Yeah, the Ultron bots. And then,
That's from a different universe where Ultron was their. I was going to say slave, but he was their butler.
He was their butler.
There you go.
Totally paid and
Whatever. He's an AI. He was their tool.
We'll see how they go because like it'd be cool. I would love to see if Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom's in the Illuminati, so you could put Doctor Doom in it. I can't remember his name. I just know he's the Britain Captain America or whatever.
Oh, Captain Carter.
Yeah. So not even him. It's Captain Britain. Remember, it was a dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Captain Carter was one
yeah.
So Captain Britain is a part of the Illuminati too, so they could bring him in or whatever. But in the TV spot, they did show.
There was a I want to say a comic book or something where all the Illuminati all had Infinity Gauntlets from different universes. Yeah, and I was like, so.
Whatever Lucky showed, they're just paperweights.
Right? So, well, because they lose power in whatever universe they're not in, but they had collected a bunch because they started policing like a bunch of different universes. Mm-hmm. So every time they would go to one, a gauntlet would work.
Yeah.
So it was something like that. But again, it's like there's so much that they can do with this. It's going to be the best movie ever, or it's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen, and anything in between. Like,
I was going to say, and everything in between.
So I can't wait to see it, but man,
we got one more week.
Yeah, see, I didn't get into comics until recently, so I've gone into basically everything blind.
Deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could do that again. Go into it blind.
Back in the day.
Oh man.
I already have to do research.
I wonder if they're gonna, because their rumors are like in Black Panther 2, Namor's gonna be in it. But I wonder if they're gonna show Namor because they're mentioning the Illuminati. That could be like kind of how they did with Black Panther, brought him in Civil War and then gave him his own movie. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if they'll bring him into this movie. Just a glimpse of him.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I hope so. Because that's all. I mean, I have no idea if this from a reliable source or not, but they're part of this phase of Marvel is supposed to bring in Namor.
Yeah, so they were saying that they were supposed to be fighting because he's a Atlantean, right? Yeah, they said that's what the base plot thing is, and the next Black Panther.
Wait, Namor is Atlantean, not DC Atlantis? You're talking Marvel Atlantis?
They have Atlantis and Marvel.
Oh, do they? I know Namor is in it, but I didn't know he was.
Because in the comic,
just like Ares is in DC. He also is in Marvel as well.
Yeah, because what Namor or Submariner. Yeah.
Submariner.
Yeah, because he was the one that found Captain America in the books.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think they have the rights to do all that.
How do you guys feel they're going to do with the next phase though? Like, do you guys feel like they're going to rush? Like, they're
kind
of rushing too much because there's so many people.
Yeah.
Well, they're putting together. They said the next movies for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Because I think that's what DC's problem is. They feel like obviously trying to compete with Marvel, they're rushing everything. they're not their shows, but their movies are just rushing everything, so it's kind of just jumbled mess.
Yeah.
I feel
But
like DC
I feel
is
like-
a lot better at their shows.
Yeah,
than
so
Marvel.
much better.
Marvel shows. I
Marvel
like
has-
Loki,
Marvel's dominating
the movie game.
the movie game.
Mm-hmm.
The series, I mean, they're doing a good job. I liked Loki. I liked Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I liked what was the other one?
WandaVision.
WandaVision. And I liked What If. However, DC's been dominating that game with WB for a while.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know what the difference is? DC plans out their shows. They
Mhm.
just kind of spat out their movies.
Exactly.
Marvel planned out their movies, and now they're just spitting
Spitting
out
Trying to
shows.
connect the
So,
shows
so
to
that's
everything
it's
now.
the exact same problem, but in reverse. But they already made their Marvel already made their money, and they're
yeah.
like, you can do whatever you want with the TV shows. We'll
It's
see
just
if
the
we
title
can't
now. It's
tie
just the
them in."
character.
Yeah. So
I'm
okay.
just worried because they're introducing like the whole multiverse that anything could happen. I feel like they're scared they're gonna rush characters or rush plot lines.
I'm not
to
excited
satisfy things.
about the Marvel.
Because they're supposed to be doing Secret Wars as well. They teased that.
So that's gonna be
Yeah.
a Disney show. It's a show.
It's gonna be a show.
So Secret.
That
Secret
look that you
Invasion.
made
Secret
is how I
Invasion,
feel.
That's a show,
Secret
and then like
Invasion.
next year, what the Armor Wars comes out too. Don Cheadle gets his time to shine.
Because I have Secret Invasion. I have that comic
So all that's what's coming out by the end of this year.
because they teased that in what?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. The end of it.
What? That was a movie? Totally blocked that out.
Her movie
They
was so
they did
great
they
that
did
every-
another
you
tease
sound
for
like-
it too.
I need you to
I think
shut
they did-
all the way
I was
up.
gonna say, her movie was so great that the sequel isn't even really about her.
Genius.
We didn't get to you.
We didn't.
You're the last person.
Oh.
You can be real quick.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Yeah.
Down the
It's
line.
cool.
Spit it out.
Because it was actually kind of close when we were just talking about how DC rushes all their movies and everything. So it's almost by default that my favorite DC movie recently is actually the Snyder Cut.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah, 'cause you actually
mostly
get to see
because,
Look
yeah,
at him.
they actually... No, hear me out. That's why I said recently, get off the table. Get off the table.
Disappointed.
So-
He's like, I'm gonna hog this mic real quick so they
So,
don't hear this blasphemy
this
coming
this
out of your
whole-
mouth.
Seriously.
This whole last hour, I've been sitting there thinking, like, dang, what is my favorite DC movie? And all I could really come up with was the old cartoons and stuff that we grew up with,
Yeah.
and literally anything with the Joker in it.
Yeah.
Up until recently, then when they started ruining the Joker. But for the actual movies themselves, the Snyder Cut is the only one that actually gave everybody their moment. Unfortunately, it took them 4.5 hours and had to do it as like a TV series / movie where you have to pause it and
See,
do all of that. But then, and also another thing that I really hate that I brought up earlier is it is them fixing something else that they did before.
Those are-
Yeah.
That was part of my no second chances thing where it's like, this is the last time I'm giving you a second chance. Good
I
job.
like how they
Don't
fixed
bring it
that
up.
rule, though.
But they,
Yeah.
they did fix it and it
what'd you
was
say? I didn't
good.
hear you.
You fixed it.
Steppenwolf.
Oh no, they
They fixed them.
no, they didn't. They, you know,
From
he
what
was-
they from the garbage that they
See,
produced
okay,
before.
you know what the problem with this is what he's just kind of
This
alluded
is-
to.
yeah.
The problem is it was so bad, the first cut.
Exactly.
It was so bad that
The second had
no
to be
matter
better.
what they
The
did,
second had to be better.
it's better than what they put out before.
And
So because it's better, it's like, well, this Steppenwolf was not good, but he could have been worse.
it could have been
Yeah,
the
we
other
saw
one.
I
it.
skipped the
worked.
first one because I heard it was so bad.
It,
And I
it
watched
was
the
so
Snyder Cut.
bad.
Yeah.
But what I did like about it is they did justice to all the characters that haven't had a lot of screen time and stuff. So like they made Flash actually really, they did a good job with them. They did a really good
Fuck
job with
Flash.
Cyborg.
His whole scene, his scene though.
I don't like Ezra Miller as Flash. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
but
if he keeps up with the law, he's gonna be out.
He's not Flash
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
Actually, I heard he was out already.
Well,
I heard-
Yeah.
they have to finish this movie because it's almost
they already
done.
started it.
That's true.
But like, yeah, he's-
After that, we can do a whole Spider-Man
sorry.
thing.
that's why I think they're gonna push back Aquaman 2 because Amanda Heard. Because now WB is quote unquote saying that they're fearful that the chemistry between Aquaman and her isn't strong enough. Instead of just saying we're kicking this bitch out because
Because fuck it.
Because terrible, yeah.
it's a Marvel movie.
No, he wasn't done talking
Yeah.
about DC.
So my
So
whole
Flash, the
DC
Flash
thing.
DC.
To wrap that one up pretty quickly with the whole. That being said,
Okay.
there is a lot about the DC movies that I don't like. Starting one with Superman.
Mhm.
Superman syndrome is the ultimate illness with DC because they either have to make him not make sense, or they have to keep him out of the movie for majority of the time. And then when he comes in, it's like, oh, automatic fix, Deus Ex Machina Superman, which I hate every time.
And the
It's
problem
so
is,
bad.
he doesn't even have to be that way. He does have to be that way at the end of his entire journey. He doesn't have to be that way in the beginning of his movies.
Yeah, on his
He
way
doesn't
up.
have to be that way. Yeah, like, I really do like the Justice League Unlimited, because if you can't beat Superman, because let's be real, you can't beat Superman, but there's so much psychological stuff you can do with him. Yeah, you have all this power, but one of my favorite episodes of Justice League Unlimited is when he gets stuck in stasis, like it's his birthday or something, and they stick an alien on him that doesn't beat him, doesn't kill him or anything, but it traps him in a world of his own making where he never left Krypton, and he has a wife, and he has a kid, and he does like all the stuff to try to save Krypton, but at the same time, everybody's trying to save Superman because he's being like eaten by this alien, and it's like, it's so sad watching Superman say goodbye to his fictitious son, and then when he wakes up, and he is so mad, he's livid, he is apoplectic with anger, he throws whatever the alien, I don't remember how he beat him, I might have blocked that out of my mind, but I'm pretty sure he throws the alien into like the sun or something, and it's like, whoa, he was pissed, like, come on.
And again,
So-
that's why I said the cartoons and stuff were my favorites.
Yeah.
I like all the old Jokers, so good.
Yeah.
All the way up to Heath Ledger.
But the DC movies, it's like by the time they show Superman in the DC movies, he's already the perfect hero, and that's not interesting. And the way they're trying to use him is not interesting.
They kind of
It's
try
like-
to do it kind of backwards if you go back to Christopher, because they tried to humanize him a little bit more.
Yeah.
He wasn't as perfect as they made him in these newer movies.
Yeah.
which would have been better.
Yeah.
But they.
And then the last thing that I like about it, with the DC movies and everything, we touched on real quick while we were all talking, is they do actually have a lot of good cinematography.
Yeah.
So I was learning a lot of animation and everything recently. So I was actually watching those, and I was like, oh, that's a really good use of color. Oh, that's a really good use of scenery. Look at the particle physics and stuff like that. That doesn't actually have to do with the movie itself.
Yeah.
But that kept me really engaged, because a lot of the times they have flaws in their story that it's like Aquaman. I was like, I did not like Aquaman, but they did some dope camera tracking. The particle physics, when he jumped in and had all the creatures coming after him, I was like, man, if I can get to like a tenth of that, that's gonna be great.
Look, don't get me wrong. Like, if we're talking about the individuals who worked on the movie,
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
people in those credits,
No, the actual cinematography of the movie
They
is
made
in
the
deserve
DC.
their work.
They
Yeah.
made the movie.
I
Whatever
think-
worst movie you've ever seen in your entire life, somebody worked really hard on it. Unless you're talking Dragon Ball Z Evolution, nobody
cared,
Everybody
yeah.
phoned that one in. So
But
you
the
can-
cinematography in DC is actually a lot better than Marvel.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
across the
I'll
board.
give you
I'll say
that.
Wonder Woman and everything. All of them were better across the board. But the story is what people look for.
likable characters.
Yeah.
Even dislikable characters. In your villains, you gotta hate your villains.
You gotta
What
hate
made me hate Ben Affleck's Batman was because of the Snyder Justice League. Was because Ezra Miller, Flash, asked him, like, hey, what's it? He's like, what's your superpower? He's like, I'm rich. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I was
his
like,
superpower. He was like, what, dude? Like,
That's-
come on.
I was like, that
That's
was
not a
really dumb.
Bruce Wayne or Batman thing.
Yeah.
That's
And then he gets
Even at the end when
Here's
Wonder
the
Woman
thing,
drops
it
in.
actually is a Bruce Wayne Batman thing, but the thing is, he doesn't do it for the laugh track to hit right afterwards.
He's
Like,
serious. That's
there's-
he's rich.
I even remember in Justice League Unlimited, he pulls that shit with Superman. He says something like, he pulls out like his Batman car that, whatever, infinite money on it. He's like, how do you think we made all this? How do you think we have a satellite in space? He's like, that's Bruce Wayne money.
There was that other episode where it was like, we'll pay for all the damages, and Batman looks at Superman.
Yeah, he's like, what? You win? What does Clark Kent get from money?
Apparently that farm is thriving.
Yeah, this is supplying the world. Yeah,
Didn't he do it at the end of Justice League? Like,
he's
he's like, oh, I bought it.
yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
at his farm, he's like, oh, I bought
And
it.
that's the thing, like, all those in the Justice League movies and stuff, they do it with like the look at the camera, like, I said I can buy it because I'm Bruce Wayne.
Mhm.
You get it? How funny is that? And it's like,
I also
It's
don't
not
like
funny.
him because he fangirled when, not the Snyder Cut version, but the original theatrical version of Justice League. Ben Affleck's Batman fanboys over Superman as soon as he comes into the little silo that they were in to fight Steppenwolf.
Oh.
You see that?
Does he?
His jaw dropped.
He's like,
When he came
Batman,
Yeah.
jaw does not drop for anybody.
Yeah.
He drops like a little freaking. I'm not gonna get into that. He drops. His jaw drops. And he's just like.
like a white mouse bass.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up choosing that movie,
Okay.
and I wanted to spend more time on that one than the other one because my other one is Infinity War.
Okay.
I still think that's like one of the most perfect movies I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Beginning to end, it's nonstop, just
Flawless.
amazing.
I think I watched it 4 times.
Just clarifying.
I know
Infinity War, not the saga.
Yeah, part one.
Yeah,
Part
part
one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Thanos wins story.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
love that.
And again, the reason I picked the 2 parts is because I feel like the second part is when the heroes win, and
Nuh-uh.
kind of want to give it to the heroes
The
because they
no.
went through a lot of shit.
I am okay with villains
Even-
winning.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm
even-
definitely
evil.
yeah.
I'm
Getting
evil.
some AA meetings and stuff, you know.
Well, because like even in Endgame, the heroes win, but like just to see Thanos taking like a G and just sit down,
Yeah.
and just,
Yeah,
die,
he's like-
just takes that breath and just
I
like
did what I believed in.
And I do it
What
again.
did he say?
too.
Died on
And
that
it's funny
hill.
because you know he would because this is him doing it again. So yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
I like both of them.
No mercy on that one. The reason that it's always the first one, not the second one, the time travel aspect was not
Yeah.
all that great.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of hand wave it with, well, do you know how time travel works? All right then. And kind of just like
You
push
gotta
it
know
off.
that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I get why you did it because you don't know how time travel works. Nobody does
Yeah.
because it doesn't work. So they just hand wave that off. And then the rest of it, it's like, okay, build up. I get it. 2.5 hours later, and then you hit the third act, and it's like the third act is everything that I wanted.
it's everything from when they blow up that side of the building.
Yes. As soon as that blows
Mhm.
up, then it's just
As soon as Ant-Man goes and looks at the butterflies or hears the birds and then just sees a missile.
yeah, looks
and then
up
right
and
there
sees the
from
whole
on.
ship just looking right at him. It's like, oh
And
fuck.
then this explosion. Yeah, from right there on.
Yep.
I think it's probably the most perfect thing I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
And then
I
just,
have 2 complaints about it, maybe,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
but it's
One
so
for
good.
sure.
Not even
Yeah.
not
We're
worth
talking-
bringing it up. Shh.
Fine.
I don't like Captain Marvel at all in any way.
Oh, but he can bring it up, and I can't.
I know, but
Whatever.
I know you couldn't hold back.
I can't. It's
That
so,
was
it's
terrible.
So dumb.
That shit had
The
to be
girl
there.
power scene is actually a good scene,
Doesn't
but
make sense,
Captain Marvel ruins it. Yeah, just her existing in there.
Yeah, if she
It's
wasn't in it, it would have been
stupid.
fine.
Yeah, because
Because-
moving the object from point A to point B and all the girls doing it would have been great.
Like,
Because
that's
the guys
awesome.
couldn't get it done. They
Yeah.
already tried.
Mhm.
Spider-Man's just holding the thing like all
On the
scared,
floor,
like,
like-
how am I supposed to get over
Get it out,
there?
yeah.
And then Valkyrie walks up and is like, bitch, get on my horse.
Bitch,
Like,
get in my car.
and then like every single, even the
So
one that
great.
I hate the most that's in there is Mantis because she's not a
She doesn't
fighter.
do anything.
So I don't know
Touch
why
something.
she's
Yeah.
in there.
But it
But
still
I
works.
just-
It's all her
It
work.
still Yeah.
They're like, what are you gonna do? Emotionally distraught somebody?
Some guy comes up with a gun. She's like, "I love you and I always will." And I'm like, Thank you. Like I don't know, but Captain Marvel ruins that whole
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah. And then
sometimes
she's
she
just like,
flies
so
in,
run
it's like-
forward? Got it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm like cool.
Yeah, I feel like I think the Captain Marvel was what grabbed her because she
Yeah.
flew through
And
a
those,
spaceship.
She flew through
Those-
his.
those are my-
his
those are my-
spaceship. Sorry,
the
air
spaceship.
quotes. Like
Yeah,
it's
it
the
is.
one that
it's
was
even
taking
less of
everything
that. Like,
out.
there's
and
a
it's
bunch
like,
of them that could have did that, and I would have been like, one, it was like
Wanda.
annoying, but
Wanda.
it was like
could've totally did
she
that.
took a full force Power Stone punch to the face and almost skid backwards.
Yeah.
And she held back Thanos and pushed him back with one hand,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like,
Because
How is this gonna be fun?
she lost to him because she was holding his glove or something, wasn't he? She took something
Yeah.
from him, and then
Yeah,
he took one
he
out.
took it
Yeah,
out,
he
punched
took it
her
out.
full force.
Yeah.
It was like, that's galaxy destroying power.
Yeah,
And she still just
Like,
kind of came
yeah,
back.
just
yeah.
Like, not really an issue.
My favorite headcanon line in the movie, because it doesn't actually happen, is when Wanda comes down to face off against Thanos,
Mhm.
and she says something to the effect of like, "You took my vision away from me," and I
took
wish. No,
took
I did
everything
my. This is
away.
my
Oh,
headcanon.
yours?
This doesn't
Oh.
actually happen. So she's like, she comes down and she's like, "You took my vision away from me," and I really wish Thanos would just say, "They're like, you look like you see just fine." Like he doesn't know who Vision is. It's like,
Yeah, I never met
and then
him.
she just goes up and they're taking her out. I was like, that would be great. Best line.
I really wanted them to bring back the Hulk.
Yeah,
I did
that
too.
one
would've
where
been
she-
nice.
I expected it the whole time
The
too.
whole
time.
wanted it so bad.
And it's like, so you're just gonna leave him under the half broken house?
You know what I thought was gonna happen? I thought the Hulk was going to box Thanos, but win with one arm. Because he
That would've
he
been
already
awesome.
did
That would've
that.
been awesome,
And it's like, oh yeah, you thought it was funny, huh? No, you lose down.
That would have been a good way though.
You're
Like
great.
Thanos confronts like
Fake you with the gift.
Smart
Yeah.
Hulk. That would have been a great.
And then with Smart
confronts
Hulk,
him, yeah,
doing
and
it,
then
he
Smart
can
Hulk sees him and
actually
it kind of triggers him,
Yeah.
and then Hulk, like the Hulk, comes out. That would
I would have
would've
been
been
impressed if World Breaker Hulk came out.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
I
would have taken any.
I could see that happening.
Yes. Yes.
I would have taken the Hulk we got with the
Because
best
this was
arm.
supposed
Again,
to
I said that.
this was
Great.
supposed to be Dr. Hulk, right?
They called him Smart Hulk. They called him Smart Hulk.
One of the
Yeah,
dabs.
but it's
Yeah. Like one of the
but it's like
Dabs.
either way, while he's fighting
Everybody
Thanos,
is
you can
dabbing
actually
so
see
much
him like
hate.
get
It's
more
cool.
angry, get bigger, and actually reconstruct his arm.
Like
And
the original Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man, they're actually gonna do this. Then the Iron Man thing happens, and then just tears.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Let him out. But that's why it's my second.
Yeah.
Third. Top 5.
Top 5.
Second, third, top 5.
Yeah.
And the third act alone is top 5.
Yeah.
Just the
I
third act.
absolutely hate what they did with the character development of Hulk in the first 2 movies. The Incredible Hulk and
Mhm.
Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why he kind of became a side character in all the other stuff the Avengers
Exactly,
are
because
doing.
they couldn't get it right.
Yeah.
Well,
At
Which
all.
is smart. That's basically what you need to do with Superman.
yeah. You beat me to it.
And then what? Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok was like.
Yeah. It was half Hulk.
Like it was like kind of
Which it was like,
That was almost my first.
technically, they got that whole shit wrong because that Hulk was supposed to rule that planet
Mm-hmm.
before he came back to Earth.
Yeah, you're talking
And they're-
Planet Hulk. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Planet
Yeah.
Hulk, and then like World Breaker Hulk or World War Hulk, and then I really kind of wish they would have brought in the Sentry.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
that's
okay,
a whole can of worms.
So
that was just-
here's the problem. I get what you're saying, and it makes perfect sense because I do like everything you just said. I like all of it,
Mhm.
but that's not what the Marvel movies are going for. Even though they're using it as inspiration, but they're doing like different stories. So if you take those other stories out of the equation and see what we got, it's not bad. Like it's not what I wanted because I've seen better stories of the exact same thing they were trying to do, but it wasn't bad.
I mean, I
You
agree
can't
with
say
that. It
that.
wasn't bad.
You
That's
can't
the
say that with
DLC.
the DC movies though. Like you can see what they're trying to do, like with Batman versus Superman. I can definitely
Wow.
see
That
that.
guy.
Cold over here.
Stare.
Whatever, man. I can definitely see what they were trying to do because, again, the whole concept of Batman versus Superman, I like. I like the comic Batman versus Superman. I like the animated Batman. Was it Year One? That also did Batman versus Superman in it, kind of. Like I liked all that stuff, but this Batman that they did, it's like none of it made sense, like at all. Like you watch a scene and it's like that was a cool scene, but this is from a different movie. And then you watch the next scene, it's like this is from a different movie. Then it's like nothing was connected at all. Like it was a terrible movie.
My favorite Batman versus Superman movie had to been animated, but it has to be. It wasn't really necessarily directed to it, but it ended up being that conflict between them. Old man Bruce Wayne being Batman, and I guess I forgot the timeline for this one, but he's fighting against Superman, and he's in his armor and everything.
That's Dark Knight
Yeah,
Part 2.
Is it Dark Knight Part 2?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I said Year One, but I meant the
Dark Knight Part
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Sorry,
like,
my bad.
because I didn't see the year one. I was like, year one. Where
Yeah, no, my bad.
Because
that version of Batman vs Superman, I absolutely love.
Because that was when Bruce said that he wasn't going to kill him, but he's like, I just want you to know that I was the one that defeated you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for that line in Batman vs Superman.
Never happened.
We got Martha.
definitely
Leave it
did
alone.
happen.
Yeah,
He was like, he was gonna kill him. He was gonna kill him.
Martha.
Okay.
That's my mom's name too.
All right, so this one went a little bit off the rails, but it was a good conversation. DJ looks sad.
No, he's not sad. He's angry.
But
He's always angry.
That's my
so we're
secret.
gonna wrap this one up. This is episode 2. Thanks for listening to us. Episode 3 might come a little later because we're going to do a review of Doctor Strange 2. we're going to see if it breaks or keeps Marvel going. So thanks for listening.
Good.
It's gonna break.
Enjoy the
Spoiler.
snacks.
Oh yeah.